Hello folks, this is BestInSlot and welcome back to the Aarde whatever, our African zoo build. Today we are gonna 99% finish off the elephant enclosure. There's a little bit more that needs doing, but I'd love some ideas from you folks at home as to what we're gonna do with that, so we're gonna hold on for that for a little bit more. Before we get started on the actual enclosure itself, we are going to finish off this viewing area we've got up here at the top. It's a little bit flat. It's like a Jaffa, not like a Jaffa cake. What's flat? A pancake, right? But like a British pancake, which is like super flat, not like an American pancake, which is like chunky as anything. More like a crepe, right? It's very flat. It needs a little bit of height. So I decided to do just that. We're going to put some, like a raised area in the middle. We're going to put some more sort of support struts in as well, just to make it look a little bit more realistic, I guess, like it's actually being supported by physics, not by cloud magic or something. So I'm going to put these support structures all the way along, and then we're going to lift that top bit up and hopefully make it look a little bit more interesting. It ends up a little bit weird, if I'm totally honest. I was kind of just shoving things in and hoping for the best, just like my love life, and it ends up a little bit odd, but whatever, we'll get there. It's fun. It's fun. And fun is fun. Always remember that. Teach your kids. Tell your parents. So yeah, I'm just making the gap now. This is where we're going to raise things up, just like Westlife talked about, and moving. I was kind of just experimenting with different things here. So like a little sort of thatch roof. Decided against that. We're just going to push it straight up with some glass, I believe, in a minute. And then I realised, oh, I actually need that bamboo, so let's put the bamboo back in. But it wasn't moving across. If you ever have this where you're trying to move something from left to right, like there I was trying to drag that bamboo from left to right and it was coming out at an angle. If you grab two pieces instead, as in that slice of bamboo and the slice next to it, it will actually work. So that's what I did there. That glass is rubbish. We're going to use big chunky glass, yes, with interesting patterns on, because interesting patterns are interesting, and interesting things are cool, and cool things are cool, as we've already established. Or did we establish that fun things are fun? I can't remember anymore. Anyways, so you're not going to go up here or anything like that. It really isn't doing much in terms of how you view the elephants. It really is just to make the whole building look moderately more interesting to look at. The whole thing's a little bit rectangular and skinny for my liking, and I think if I was redoing this, I would do it maybe slightly differently in terms of the style. I'd probably make it a little bit, get some curvature in there and get some more interesting shapes in, but anyway, once everything's in, it does end up being moderately more exciting to look at. And yeah, how long can I talk about a raised area on top of a bloody building? Well, we'll have to keep trying. So just ringing it now in the glass and the thatch. Just kind of looking around thinking what we're going to do here. Going to put some more support struts in. I think it's good just put these absolutely bloody everywhere just to make sure everything looks like it is actually built and real and supports regular physics. Bring in the little elephant, which you won't see, but the elephants wandering around the enclosure, they'll look up and they'll see it and they think there's a floating stone, like dead head of one of their relatives, which is nice, fun for the whole family. And you kind of see it a little bit from below as well. It's kind of just hanging over the glass there. It's an elephant exhibit, we need elephant stuff, simple as that really. The glass was... This whole shape isn't perfectly aligned to the grid, so the glass was overlined a little bit, so I'm just covering it a teeny tiny bit in some of the sort of the African cloth shaping stuff, just to make sure it looks okay, basically, so I can hide the lines. We do that a lot, just hide things in other things. I've just realised that that's not even, so I'm going to have to fix that. I decided against the roof. The roof looked a bit weird, but I think this thatch triangular shape looks a lot better. It kind of suits the theme a little bit more and looks a lot nicer. It looks okay. Looking at it, maybe I need to do something with the glass at the front. I think it's a little bit on the big side, but we'll have a little look about that later on. Some more support structures now, again, just at the front. I don't really want to block the view too much because, you know, it's important to be able to see things, but I do want, you know, to have some support structures in there, something that makes it look real. So just these very simple X's dotted all the way along there, just, yeah, again, a little bit more realistic, I guess. Just hang one there behind our education board, and I'm moderately happy. I think the upstairs is basically done at this point. So, much to do still. I did do this in 3 parts, and I didn't really have a great idea for the enclosure itself. I didn't think it needed one. I don't think it needed a gimmick per se. I do have like a style in mind that I eventually pick up on. I will say this is potentially, per square inch, my most foliage-filled exhibit ever. Literally ever. Which doesn't necessarily suit this part of the park, but there's a lot of water because elephants love water, and I wanted to give them that environment. I didn't want them to be in a big dry environment because it felt mean to the elephants, basically. I want to be nice to the elephants. So I tested out a new technique with my foliage, which you will see later on in the video. I also really like the idea of just covering the river in rock to an extent, like this kind of like right angle shape like you can see there, and that's going to just along one side of the river. I've seen people do the same in plaster, and I've seen that in zoos as well. I just wanted to use rock just because, again, it's more natural, it blends in with the environment a little bit better, while still looking sort of controlled and somewhat man-made in the process. And that's going to be just like an edge where we can put like you know, water, sugar cleaners and stuff like that, you know, like you'd have like a cleaning device in the water to kind of filter through the water, or maybe like heaters and stuff like that, and you'd sink them into this fake rock, and it's just designed to look like rock instead of plaster, basically. So I'm going to cover one side of the river with all this. Keep it nice and controlled. This side, of course, we're having like a little canal bit. Hopefully that's going to stop the elephants walking across. I haven't brought the elephants in yet. We're going to do that out of the time lapse at the end of the video, so there's a good chance the elephants can just walk out of this exhibit. Like, it may require a little bit of changing around. I haven't had the opportunity to test that yet, but we'll see later on. And if they do, that's fine. You know, people can go on an adventure with the elephants. That's fun for the whole family as well. Delicious, nutritious elephants. I wonder what elephant tastes like. We don't want to know what elephant tastes like, right? Elephants need protecting. But I am curious. Anyways, so just, yeah, like I say, cover one side, and this will, there's going to be a gap at some point, and that's going to be like the area where the elephant's meant to get up and walk across, and it will sort of link into the idea I've got for the backdrop, which is, I can show you maybe actually. Yeah, let me pull this up. Yeah, I'll show you that at the after the time-lapse bit. Actually, tell you what, I'm going to show you right now very quickly because I'm about to build it. So this is what I was working on. This was my idea, basically. Here we go. It was something like this. I really liked the look of this kind of like big grassy plain, and it is. It's very grassy, it's very green, very verdant, blah, blah, blah. I've got some nice big trees and stuff. I do take it a little bit further even, I must say. And then this rock wall, which is very intense and rocky and not green, you know? It's like, I really liked that contrast in the colours. So I wanted to build something vaguely similar to that. That was the idea, and that's what I'm doing here. You know what I'm like, I really like messing around with terrain in terms of building things, and just decided to do it again, basically. I can't resist. You know, this is the park for it. On next park, I'll probably do much more city-based and glass-based and modern-based and, you know, back in the Black Rock-esque direction, although I've got some different ideas as well. But this one, terrain all over the place. So, I wasn't really sure how to build it. I haven't really built anything like that before, so I thought what we'll do is get these straight lines up, and then what we'll do is we'll kind of attack them with the chisel tool and stuff, and we'll hopefully finagle them, which is a proper term, don't look it up, finagle them into the appropriate shape, hopefully, is the goal anyway. It ends up getting there, but it took some hard work. You have to attack several times with different tools and different angles and stuff like that to try and make this happen. It looks a bit weird there with the rock, but it will look better. So chisel tool, and kind of just tilt it onto its edge and then go between them to kind of create like a little definition between them. Attack the whole thing a little bit to roughen it up, you know. And you know what, it wasn't that hard actually to actually get the shape. I'm quite happy with that as a shape. The left side maybe needs dragging down a little bit. And then what we do is we take the sand, and instead of just covering the whole thing, you kind of drag it up each individual slice of rock. And what that does is it kind of emphasizes that they are different pieces, kind of thing, and that they've been, you know, blown against by the wind and stuff like that. Now, I did consider doing a waterfall kind of thing. That's what I'm doing here, like a water display. And whilst we have a lot of water, however, it isn't really meant to be the focus of this area, you know? We've got a lot of water because I want my elephants to be happy, but it isn't the main goal, it's not the theme for the south. So I thought we'll ignore the waterfall and we'll just try to make the exhibit look interesting without it. I don't mind mixing and matching, really. At the end of the day, I just want the park to look as good as possible, but, here and there. No idea what I'm doing here. Just doing what I love to do most, really, which is... yes, right, this didn't go well. I had a slight idea for integrating the shape of an elephant's skull into the mountain, and I think it would probably be... Yeah, the tusks were... It just looks bizarre. Like, the eye line looks pretty cool, and then everything else is horrendous. Yeah, it didn't work, really. It's an interesting idea still, but not one I think we'll be doing right now. I still like the idea of maybe building like an elephant graveyard as a display somewhere else in the park. Kind of, you know, Lion King inspired, obviously. The idea being, okay, yes, it's a little depressing, but by having an area like that, we can kind of highlight, you know, we should have an area that highlights how terrible the poaching trade is, and, you know, talk to people about the need for donations and support to try and halt this terrible thing that does still go on no matter what we do, right? So we should do more to stop it, hopefully. Maybe we'll do something like that, like a big shocking monument. It's like, whoa, why are all these elephants dead? And it's like, poachers! And they're like, and then guests like, yeah, I hate poachers. And there we go. Anyways, so this is going to be the sleeping area kind of shebang for the elephants. If I ever stop, by the way, it's either because I'm changing my music, which I now have on the second tab rather than my main screen, or I'm Googling things. I think I was Googling for the indoor elephant house sort of design at the moment. It didn't really help. You know, you can just, as long as you can see in, it's fine. I like the difference in the walls here. We are actually going to get rid of that fence on the right side anyway, and replace that with mud very soon. It should feel a little bit more enclosed and safe and offer some form of privacy, you know? Not much, but some. Gonna build, again, more support structures. A little wide this time. We're just mixing it up, keeping things messed up. I would really like to wrap some rope around there. I thought that was gonna look really cool, you know, like the bamboo from the new South America pack. But these poles are just too thick, so for the first time, I've managed to use the beads in a way that actually looks pretty good. I think they just look quite nice in the middle of the poles. So, beads, yeah, and that's our support structures for the whole shelter. I might put some more in at the back, but I think that looks sufficient, really. If you kind of ignore just how immensely heavy the top side of this would be, and that it has to support other humans and stuff like that, just ignore that. That's too far in the physics. We only want a little bit of physics. We want the fizz. Or the X. Do we want fizz or X? I don't know. Anyways, so just bringing in the path. Decided to change that to the... This is the path we always use when it's the actual enclosure. The enclosure always has the same style of path, so I thought I'd bring that in again. I think it's just having that difference between the path texture and the terrain texture makes it look a little bit more official and like an actual building. As per usual, we'll be bringing in some King Protea to fill in the gaps, because that's all I ever do with my life is fill gaps with flowers, apparently. Casually just stopped doing that to build a bridge. Honestly, I've said this so many times, it literally is a case of, oh, I'm building this. Oh, but I could go build that instead. Interesting. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It's literally just, meh. Now it's time for the Protea, right? Quick little check to make sure that's what I was using. Yeah, and then we just line it all along. It just looks manufactured in a nice way, but still being a bit natural, and it's the same I keep saying flower for flower and plant. Same flower I've been using all the way along, so I think it makes a lot of sense. Looks nice. Looks nice, yeah. What else am I doing with my life? Yeah, so I decided to bring in this right-hand wall, again, just because I think they deserve some privacy, you know, they deserve some proper privacy, and the wall helps with that. I haven't put really many designs on that. I have a slight obsession with detail, and not necessarily in a good way, just sticking stuff on everything, and sometimes that's a really good thing, but I think sometimes it goes too far, so I'm going to try to resist every now and again, but yeah, we'll see how that goes, I think. Grabbing these are the donation box thing. No, these are the donation box. No, these are the education signs. Of course, we're going to need some names for the elephants, ladies and gentlemen. Feel free to hit me up in the comment section down below what name we're going to give to our elephants. A couple different education boards on there, and then we need our sticker thingy as well. Bear in mind, at this point, we really haven't worked on the actual enclosure itself much at all. But there's our little thing. I had that bug again where I couldn't rename the sign. It's still Hippo. I'm hoping when I log into the game in a little bit to, you know, do the non-time-lapse portion of this video, we'll be able to actually change it. I don't know why it keeps happening. It's never been an issue in the past. Very odd. Anywho, decided to make the enclosure a bit more interesting, bring some height and depth into the ground, just bopping it up. We are going to get rid of that for reasons you'll see very soon. So, there's the little gap on the left, just kind of a place for the elephants to get in and out of the water on this side, because this side is of course covered in the sort of the man-made rock, as it were. Baobab, you got to have a baobab, don't you? Everyone loves a good baobab. I actually have 2 baobabs. I do get rid of the second baobab, but briefly I had a second baobab. It'd be nice if I had another like tall, thin one. I think that would be quite helpful in a lot of situations, but I just have a short, fat one. I'm not making a joke there. Not making any jokes there. A couple of rocks, just default stuff. Still trying to get a feeling for what I was going to do for this enclosure. Very much wanting to go in that direction we saw before, though, where you've got this lush green sort of bottom, and then you've got this, you know, the harsh rock in the backdrop. I really wanted to emphasize that contrast, and we do just that with a hell of a lot of foliage, as you will see very soon. So the idea for the foliage, if you watched my Blackrock Park series, particularly the Timberwolf habitat, I had a bit of an idea. So what I like to do is sink lots of plants into the ground, right? And if you sink lots and lots and lots of plants into the ground of different varying colours and stuff like that, you end up with a fairly interesting ground and fairly natural looking ground texture, right? And you have to. Like, initially it looks a little dumb, and then as you add more and more and more, it gets more varied and more interesting, kind of like we did with the aardvark. And with the Timberwolf habitat, I was doing this all over the habitat to make it look interesting. And I said in that video that what I would like to do is build like a set for each biome. So this would be Africa grassland, for example, where you've got all this foliage sunk to the ground, and it's a group. And all you do is you take that and you copy it and you integrate it around your park, basically. Like, it would be a workshop item, essentially. All these different trees and different formations. You'd probably want it a little bigger than this, or smaller, but you'd have various grids that stick together, maybe make it more modular like that. Anyways, the idea was to stick them all in the ground over here, make like an item, make like a grouped item that I could use, and then we're gonna stick it all over the enclosure, because it looks like really interesting, varied ground, right? I will say, this looked weird for a long time. This took a long time for me to be okay with it, because it is a absurd amount of foliage, it really is. And it only looks good from specific angles, but I did design around those angles. It took some work. It looks weird for a very long time. And I did go a little bit overboard on it, and I did end up deleting some of the foliage, but I end up thinking it looks really nice. Eventually. It just took some time. It's really the only way. We don't have like a tall green grass. We don't really have like a proper green grass at all. Like, we've got the short grass is green, but it's not green. You know, it's green. It's not green. What I needed was green. And I thought this would be an environment. Loads of water, some rocks, loads of foliage on the ground, some nice big trees to eat from. I thought this would be an environment that the elephants would love. So that's kind of what I wanted to emphasize and go for. So there's going to be a lot of this. Now, I will end up deleting a moderate amount of this grass texture. You know, quite a lot of it will be deleted just to get too much coverage at the moment. It needs to have gaps in it to look more natural. So we will be doing that at some point. But I actually think it looks really nice there. And I think it sells that feeling I was going for. We're going to bring the hut in. They won't be using it for anything. It's just going to sit there. I kind of wanted to, again, as I want to do, I kind of wanted this to look like a natural scene. This would be an area where people, and here we are deleting some of the foliage, like an area people would live in, you know, like an actual place where local Africans would live and live with the elephants, or they would, you know, whatever, or they used to live here and the elephants moved in afterwards after they moved out. Whatever you want it to be. The point is, there's some remnants here of the civilization that was here in the past, which seems to be my basis for basically every single habitat I ever built. It's always, this place was abandoned, let's fill it with animals. This place was abandoned, let's fill it with animals. But that's what we're doing, okay? Leave me alone. We can pretend that humans still live here, and this one. So we're going to bring in like a boat, we're going to bring in some little huts and stuff like that, just things to give it a little bit of pop. Love a little bit of pop. Curious, what do you call a soft drink? You know, like Coke, right? No, well, not Coke. Let's say lemonade. What would you call it? Or Dr. Pepper or something. What would you call it? Is it pop? Is it a soft drink? Is it fizz juice? I don't know. I don't know what else people call things, but I am curious. See, I always grew up saying pop, but I don't think I'd ever say pop anymore. Like when I was a kid, I would say pop. And now I think I just say a soft drink. Or I'd specify the soft drink. It's just interesting. Is it interesting? I don't know. Let's pretend it's interesting. Anyways, so just bringing in some of those things. Like I said, I wanted some elephant tusks on there for reasons I'm unsure of. But now they're there. I will say, when you're viewing this from inside and you've got the Ys kind of framing it, and you're in the sort of the darkness area looking out into this really foliage covered and light area, I think it looks really nice. I think it really sells the theme I was going for, which was green. Also, yeah, I thought this was a cool idea. A little smoke that comes out now from the top of the hut. You're never going to see in there, it doesn't really matter. But the idea is they've got like a fire going in the middle of the hut. It's like a campfire or like a cooking circle kind of thing. So the smoke is going to just raise up there constantly. I thought that was really cute. I think it's cute. I know it's cute. Don't you worry, campfire. I know you're cute. Yeah, I like that. I might raise it up a little bit more. It looks a little... No, it makes sense, right? It's coming out from inside. It should be quite low down. Not doing anything complex. That was complicated and complex. I really just... My brain comes up with two words, and instead of picking one, I just jam them together. And this isn't like a one-time... This happens constantly. It happens all the time. Keeping it fairly simple for the little area in there. I wanted them to have to walk through like this line of these to get in there, but I was just having real problems with these being blocked and obstructed by things. I don't really know why. They're just very picky items. So decided to move those. I'm not going to keep them here either. They're going to go over there, kind of like, so to get in and out of the water, they go through. The idea being, you know, like when you go swimming, and okay, this doesn't really apply, but roll with me here. You go swimming, and when you get out of the pool, you go in the shower, right? Because you want to like wash the chlorine off and stuff like that, and it's refreshing. That's kind of the same idea. So they go swimming in the lake, and then when they come out, they walk through the shower thingies we've got here. Plus, they love them, and it looks cool. So that's really the important thing. Just bringing in some of their default items. The mud bath in there, feeders. Really couldn't get anything in that building at all. I think it might be because of the path above it. I don't really know why. Either way, it's been a pain in the ass. How long have we got left, folks? We have a total minute left. Very exciting. It is basically done at this point. Just moving foliage around here and there to make it look a little bit nicer. I think I do a little bit more work on the mountain itself. As I look at it now, it looks like it needs a little bit of, like a little bit of chisel tooling just to break it in a little bit. But overall, it's looking pretty nice. Pretty happy with it. What am I doing? Oh yeah, a little bit of change at the top. I didn't like how the mud looked. It just didn't fit with the rest. It was a little bit boring. So just bringing the bamboo and the sticks across just to make that upper reach match, basically, thematically. That's right, thematically. I went there. Bringing some thingies. And basically done. Are we done? What's going on? Wait, is this the start again? No, right. So, oh yeah, this was something people suggested in the last video. Thank you, a couple of people suggested this. I'm just putting a little water squirty thing inside the elephant's trunk, which is cute. Right, we're going to hop into the game. I'll show you what still needs to be done, although you may have picked up on it already. And we'll add our actual elephant. We don't have any elephants in the park. We need some elephants. We'll go do that as well. Sounds like a plan. Here we go then. There is our lovely squirting elephant. Maybe that's not the term we're going to use, but is that? Oh, that needs moving a little bit, doesn't it? Let's just move you a little bit over that way. There we go. Yeah, it's cute. I actually really like it. It looks really nice. Oliphant. Now, people keep telling me I'm pronouncing that right. Is it Oliphant or something? Or I have no idea. It's something like that. So there we go. We'll have a little mini tour. It looks. I do like how it looks from the outside. I'm not sure about this. What's that going to look like if we get rid of it? Come here. I think maybe something else across there might look better. That shadow is a little bit too much. It's a little bit over the top. Anyways, we shall see. Whoop, no, I'm doing things. I'm doing things. Okay, are we done doing things? Yes, I think so. Moving on. Here we go. This way for Aardvarks. But we're not going to the Aardvarks. No, senorita. We're going past Monsieur Elephant, Oliphant. And we're heading inside. So I said there's a little bit that needs changing still. It's this. I don't know what to put here. We've just done a display. Tell you what we might do, actually, now that I think about it. I was going to do the poaching thing somewhere else, but maybe this could be the poaching thing. And we'll have some like tusks in there, and the elephant statues, and just like information boards, and just decorate it up so it looks, tells people about poaching. Alternatively, I will literally put the wall across there. And back there, so you can't see down there. That's actually not a bad idea now that I think about it, because we still need to do something over here as well. Now, this is a long ass wall here, and there's really not much to do with it. I'm thinking, I don't know what to do with the wall, other than just putting plants in and rocks in and just making it look nice. Put some statues in, put some little elephant displays. That's about it. I really don't know what else I would do here. This could be our poaching thing. Also, that looks like a disaster. I need to do something about this. Can I see that further back? Maybe I just get rid of these, honestly. Oh, I like them though. I do like that. I like how they look there, but I think it just needs to be so it doesn't stick into the wall for fairly obvious reasons. It seems the angle's a bit wrong. It's like tilted to the left. No, it hasn't. I bet that's a bloody warthog. Yeah, it's fine. What's your name? Volcana. That's a great name. Anyways. So, yeah, that's the other thing I don't really know what to do with. This wall along here. This bit, obviously, is going to lead you outside. Connect onto there. That's the idea. But this wall here is nothingness. We could make it more interesting, the wall itself, and then just put plants and stuff. Like, we could put decorations on the wall. I think I might replace part of it with glass and have it as a window. And then, as you're walking along here, this bit specifically, you could see through the gap and see into the elephant house through some glass. That might be a cool idea. We might do that. I really like how this wall looks, but can I just say that? I think that looks really cool. Anyways, it's something like that. Here is the sleeping area. Of course, they're all hippos at the moment, but they won't be. Nothing too complex with that. And there's the actual exhibit. I really like how that looks. I know it's... People will say it's over the top foliage-wise, but it does very much sell the look I was going for, and it looks elephant-friendly to me, which is kind of the main thing. There's our smoking little hut over there. I might raise another one up just so it looks like the smoke goes a little bit higher than it does. You're never going to come over here anyway, right? Just so it's a little bit more noticeable. There you go. A little campsite going on, like a little hut thing. That's very cool. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. It's nothing that special in terms of the exhibit design, but I think it looks nice. I'm open to suggestions though. I really am. I just like framing things. I like these shapes. They frame everything, and that's just, yeah, that's cool. Right, so enough bigging myself up. You see what I mean? It looks a bit weird from above, I think it looks okay from up here. Let's have a little look from up here. Yeah, it looks fine. It's definitely a lot, and from above it does look worse, I would say, than it does from down below, but I think it's okay. It still has the feeling I was going for, which is the important thing. Right, let's get some Oliphants. What's going on here? This is because of the information boards, isn't it? Yeah. They're all terrible. I actually don't have any problems in the park other than my terrible information boards, but we will be fixing those very soon. So let's go find some African elephants. Actually, before we do that, let's check their species thingamajiggy. 3 to 15, so I can get one male and then a bunch of females. The dream. Right, we sell filters, species, African elephant. There we go. Let's get the youngest one, Latif Abeni Ibn. Beautiful. And Shani Zuwena. I think 5 is a good number. It's a big enclosure, I think. We'll see how it goes. Speed up, shumba, 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 and hopefully we'll get some elephants pretty soon. I'm going to stand here and wait. Just put some stuff here as well. So, viewing area. Oh. Well, who are you? What are you? No, they haven't. Wait. What's wrong with me? No, they're fine. It's always just bloody, What are you doing, love? Oh, there we go, finally. We have an elephant. There we go. Slow down time again. There we go. There is our first elephant. It's Latif. It's our male. He's a beast. Looks lovely. He's literally a beast, I suppose, actually. I was just wondering if we... Yeah, there is a better one there, but that's fine. Latif's here. No. Latif, before you go crazy, let's see if you can break out. That's literally the first goal. Right, okay. We have a problem here. I'm surprised by this, it must be said. What is blocking you? Why can't you walk around that... Why can't you walk there? Do I need to move this rock? Is that rock the problem? I didn't think this would be causing such an issue. It can't be the foliage. Surely it can't be the foliage. It's going to upset me greatly if it is, you know. I'm just going to get rid of some stuff. I can't believe that's happened. It might literally be the foliage that's the problem. Wow, it is. Why can't you walk past here? Is it the tree? Do I need to sink everything down a little bit? That's going to ruin the look of the whole thing. Oh, no, I'm sad. Ugh. Okay, let's try that. And let's try grabbing this one down a little bit as well. Not too much, though. Just this little... Oh, no, it looks so much worse already. It looks okay from down here, though. Okay, how are we doing? Okay, that's still perplexing, but better. Right, we can pause. I did not foresee this being an issue, if I'm totally honest. They can get in the water. They can't get out of the water. That's a problem. But they can get in and out, in various ways, but not the way I was hoping. So we have some work to do here, folks. We really do. Okay. So this is the first problem. Now, my concern here is I don't think if I get rid of this water... Oh, sorry, I was completely wrong. I was thinking I won't be able to put it back because you tend to get problems. Okay, I don't know what happened, but apparently I stopped recording at some point, so I just want to say everything's working now, the elephants are in and happy, that one's pooping in celebration as you can see. The plant life looks pretty nice from down here. I have removed quite a lot of it. It looks a bit weird as soon as you get to a higher angle, but I think if you're viewing it from the guest angle like this, it looks really nice. It looks like a place the elephants would like. I've still got that sort of, the big difference between the backdrop and the plant life, which really was my main focus, that to that. It had to feel very disparate, is really what I wanted. And I think it works. And I'm pretty happy with it. Since... Aww. I have got rid of the other one of these. I was having some problems with those. I am going to try to fix it or bring some rocks back in and stuff like that. But I am pretty happy, folks. So, as I said, I need to do something there and there. Honestly, might just block this off with a wall. I think we might do that. But this bit in particular, this line here, definitely needs some love as well. So there's this little bit down here, but generally speaking, we are done. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Hopefully this bit was bloody recorded this bloody time. And yeah, I don't know. Get your head out of the bush, love. What are you doing? Let me know what you folks think in the comment section down below. Just said those words, we're going to say them again. Let me know what you think. Any suggestions and stuff like that. We've got a big smoky building over there. Kind of want to put some more rock there to blend that in a little bit better. Where's Latif? Are you Latif? You're Latif. Why are you so upset? Oh right, yeah, plants. That would make a lot of sense. That's okay. I'm sorry, buddy. That's not changing. That's kind of the world we live in now. Okay. Thank you very much for joining me, ladies and gentlemen. I will see you lovely folks in the next video, which, in terms of Planet Zoo, will of course be our return to Temple Zoo, as we will be bringing in our very first animal. I'll see you lovely folks then. Next episode of the Aarde, what are we doing? We're probably going to go to the north. We've been focusing a lot on the south because the south felt sort of neglected, but now the south definitely doesn't feel neglected anymore, so I think we can move on to the north. We do need to build like a jeep station over here, but other than that, we're ready to sort of carry on. Very cool. Thanks for joining me. Cheers much as always. Bye-bye. Hey folks, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you want to help support me a little bit more, you can do so at patreon.com/bestinslot. There's a link in the description down below. Every little really does help in times like these, but it's not at all expected, and by just watching the video you've already helped me out massively, and it makes you a pretty cool person, so well done you. Thanks for joining me either way, I'll see you next time.